I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking about breaking your own heart. What does that mean, Margaret?
I know it's kind of hard to figure out right away, but what it is in my perambulations around the internet, I found a dissertation about breaking up, and the woman who wrote it broke up with someone and was so overwhelmed by the experience, she managed to write her dissertation on it. So it gives us a little bit of insight into the experience of the breaker-upper.
Exactly.
Who just looks like a mean person.
That's right. So we're going to be talking about what it's like for your ex, the dumper.
Yeah.
What are they experiencing?
Right.
And how are they feeling in the breakup? And this is an important discussion.
Yes, I thought so. And there's very little information on it. So I was very happy to read this lady's dissertation, which I thought was brilliant.
Yeah.
All right. So she says, the experience of ending a romantic relationship is one I know intimately, as I have initiated such dissolutions several times in my adult life.
Yep.
My first initiation was the most difficult. I was 25 years old and had been dating my partner for 2 years. I loved him in many ways, particularly as a friend, but I did not feel the romance or attraction that I had hoped to feel.
Which is what a lot of you guys hear going through the breakup, that they didn't feel a romantic connection.
Yep. That I had hoped to feel toward a lifetime partner. He did not experience the same doubts and began talking about cohabiting and referencing marriage and other components of a future together. I had not been planning to break up with him. The words just came out.
Wow.
In a phone conversation and felt right.
And that is something that I find too. Sometimes your ex is feeling like things aren't going right, and we actually wind up pushing them to do the breakup. We might say, well, do you want to break up? And next thing you know, they're like,
yes.
Yeah, I think I do. When they hadn't even planned that.
Right.
So sometimes a breakup is not planned.
Right. So the words just came out of her mouth. What it immediately tells you is that she'd been thinking about it for a while, even though it hadn't come out of her mouth. So anyway, the words felt right. Soon after, however, I lost this conviction. My partner insisted this was the wrong decision.
Yeah.
And I wondered if I had made a hasty and irrational choice. I felt confused as to why I would deliberately remove someone from my life about whom I cared so much. I felt a sharp pain knowing I was hurting someone so deeply.
Yeah.
I was lonely, sad, and utterly confused. During painful times, I have always sought and received support from several close friends and from my immediate family members. The initiation of this breakup was the first time that these supports provided little solace. None of my friends nor my sister had undergone a similar experience, and they struggled to understand why I was so upset by a decision that I had made.
Yes, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Okay. The people in my life struggled to understand why I was so upset from a decision I had made.
You see, in this case, the woman broke up with the guy and she was upset, and people are like, I don't understand.
You made
this
the
is what
decision.
You wanted.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes we make a decision and then we regret it.
And not only that, life isn't just that simple. Sometimes you have to break up with someone you still care about.
Yeah.
Oh, you feel you do. All right. My parents had ended serious relationships many years before and voiced the attitude that I would eventually get over it, or this too shall pass.
You must hear that a lot.
And
Friends and family.
Is that validating? No.
You'll get over it.
Yeah, you'll get over it.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Why would you be so upset when you broke up with him?
Yeah. So no one was even acknowledging her grief and upset. No one even acknowledged that she had it, let alone respond to it.
Yeah.
Except by dismissing it. Those were lines I continue hearing in my head. I didn't think to consult a counselor at that time. I felt disenfranchised, although at that time I didn't know that word, as if no one could understand or relate to my experience. I felt it was not okay to be feeling the way I did, extremely sad due to a separation that had been my choice. Gradually, with time and self-reflection, my pain lessened. I became more confident, even proud of my decision, which I recognized as a difficult but appropriate one. Still, the experience remained with me long after others expected. I thought often of my partner.
Say that again.
I thought often of my partner.
I thought often of my partner.
Right.
I'm so glad she said that.
Yep.
Because all of you guys don't think your ex is thinking about you. They are.
They are. I thought often of my partner who had set a standard for how I wanted to be treated in a relationship, and who had also influenced me in significant and lasting ways, such as by suggesting that I pursue a career in psychology. And she was getting her PhD. This was her dissertation. My experience of the dissolution remains with me today in the way I think about endings, about relationships, and about initiating a painful, immediate experience in the pursuit of long-term satisfaction.
Yeah. Now, we don't know why she broke up with this person, what the reasons were.
She didn't feel the attraction.
Yeah.
She liked him as a friend, loved him, in fact. And it sounds like they had a good time together. But what she said was she didn't feel the kind of attraction she would have wanted to a lifetime partner.
I think there's more to that.
I do too.
I think that's only a symptom, and I think that he was probably putting a lot of pressure on the relationship.
It sounded like it.
And so she didn't realize it, because a lot of people don't realize why they feel the way they feel, when actually there is a lot of behavior that causes somebody to feel a certain way.
Well, she was saying he kept talking about a long-term relationship.
That's right.
Together. He was talking
The
about
pressure.
cohabiting and marriage.
That's
right
right.
on. Right.
His behavior caused that feeling inside of her. Much like if I put my hand on Margaret's shoulder here and put some pressure, she's going to feel that feeling.
You
right?
mash her.
Right? You feel something,
right.
and
Yeah.
you can see that this will cause that for her.
Yeah.
Much like the way you behave in a relationship will cause your partner to have feelings, and this kind of situation is not that tough to turn around.
I bet they were still in college. She said she was 25, maybe in early graduate school, and he was way down the road, and she wasn't there.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think
he was putting too much pressure.
Yep.
Very easy situation to turn around, because I see that a lot. You know, where somebody feels that kind of pressure, and then their attraction is
I'm
gone.
not ready, and their attraction is gone, and it's I'm not ready. They're scared. I was saying to someone today, do not rush. It gets you nothing. You know, it may help your worries about abandonment, but if that's all it's going to do, and they'll come up again.
Yep. You're trying to lock somebody down.
Yeah.
Because you think that if you lock them down, that's it. You're
They'll be with
secure.
you.
You're safe. That's it. Now they're going to be there forever.
Right.
That's simply not the case. A relationship is like a living entity.
That's right.
That you have to keep alive.
That's right. Approaching this research, then, I had a specific and personal perspective on the cognitive and emotional process involving an ending of a serious romantic relationship. For me, it was sad, confusing, anxiety-provoking, but ultimately confidence-producing. And that's what she has to say. And what she did was she did the dissertation on 12 people in the university where she was getting her degree who had recently broken up with someone. And they had all found it a difficult experience and were very grateful that she would talk to them about it because no one else would.
Yeah.
So she found just the thing she had experienced. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that I see people ask all the time is, what are my chances? What are the chances that we can work this out? What are the chances that I'll get another shot? Well, we're going to do a video on that. Actually, that was one of the plans for today, but my computer restarted and deleted the write-up that I had for it,
Well, it sounds like a great
before we were
topic.
filming.
It sounds like a great topic.
It
Craig.
really
I hope
had
you
some
can remember and
hits.
recapture it.
I hope so, because
Yeah.
I had some really good points in there. Even though it looks like your ex doesn't care about you and they don't think about you anymore, that's simply not the case.
No.
And I hear people all the time, when they eventually do hear from the ex is pretty open about saying, I thought about you every day.
Right.
So, hopefully, understanding that your partner or the person that broke up with you is going through a lot of pain, even if they're not displaying it or showing it to you, it's there.
Oh, yes. And when the breakup happens, you're so hurt and so distraught. You say, well, they must have never loved me. As you can see from what I just shared with you, that's not true.
Yep.
People feel they have to break up sometimes for their own well-being.
Yep.
And sometimes for your well-being.
Mm-hmm. If you learn the skills that Margaret and I teach, you're going to put yourself in a position to be successful in your romantic relationships. And a lot of times, breakups are a lot easier to fix than they look on your end.
Right.
Because you got to understand, that's all I deal with all day, every day. That's what Margaret helps deal with all the time.
All the time.
We see
many hours a week.
how it plays out,
Yes.
and we see that most of the time, it's not as bad as it feels. Okay? There are a lot of cases, in fact, I had numerous people today where I'm like, this is not nearly as bad as it feels for you. And not that I'm taking away from the experience, because it's confusing and it's overwhelming and it's scary.
Despair, huh?
But it's not as bad as you think, and you can turn it around depending upon your situation and how you behave. It's going to improve the chances of doing that, right? So I'll get into another video on that soon, on the chances. But understand, sometimes the person that broke up with you broke their own heart.
That's the title of this woman's dissertation, Breaking Your Own Heart.
And you will not know it unless you know what to look for and the signs to look for, and maybe if there's an indirect, direct approach and how you handle things, right?
Right.
It's very important how you handle those things and how they play out, right?
Right. And if someone comes to you saying that they just broke up with somebody and that they're sad, don't tell them that this too shall pass. Say, probably nobody understands that you're sad. I understand that you're sad. It's still a loss, even though you wanted the breakup or you felt that you had to break up. I know you feel sad. Validate them.
Absolutely. So,
Can I add a quick thing? One of the things that this woman alluded to in her dissertation was something called disenfranchised grief, which I have never heard about. And what it is grief that people suffer that is never acknowledged by the world at large. And she named a series of people. People who have family members in jail. That's chronic grief that they're upset about. Well, why don't you just forget about Tio whoever or Uncle whoever and just go on with your life? No, it's chronic grief. I thought immediately of adoptees who for their entire lifetime grieve their natural family and not having been able to be with them. So there's a lot of disenfranchised grief in this world. So let's be as sensitive to it as we can be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We understand how tough it's to go through a breakup, and understand that your ex, even if they broke up with you, they're probably hurting in a lot of different ways, even if they don't show it.
Right.
So hopefully that helps and you feel a little bit better. And of course, when you want to get our help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net, sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching, I do Skype. Margaret is also available for Skype coaching.
Yes, and these days I can get you in pretty quickly, so feel free.
Just click on Margaret on the top of the screen and then you can sign up with her. That's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And we will talk with you soon.